Welcome to Torah After Dark, where scriptures meet the real world, raw and unfiltered. This isn't your typical Bible study. We're diving deep into the Torah, the prophets, and today's world, from prophecy and exile to politics, culture, and controversy. I'm Gadol HaGadol, a black American student of the Torah, bringing straight truth with no filters, no fluff, and no fear. We stream regularly because Torah doesn't clock out. Whether it's the law of exile, prophecy breakdowns, or what's really going on in the news, we're bringing it back to the Torah. Got any questions, topics, or want to debate live? Hit the inbox or email gadolhagadol@gmail.com. Also, subscribe to the channel, like the live, and join the membership for exclusive breakdowns, biblical challenges to Christian claims, and teachings you won't hear anywhere else. This is Torah After Dark for the people still seeking truth, even when the world turns their lights off. Let's get into it. Shalom, shalom, shalom. So I wanted to do a quick video about when does the Sabbath come in? Is it evening or is it morning? So to dissect this, we need to establish when does the day begin? Okay? So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to jump right into it. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we're going to start in the beginning in Bereshit chapter 1, right? And we're going to start from verse 1. This is where we get the understanding from. And we're going to read this slow and we're going to understand what we're reading, okay? It says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now the earth was unformed and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. So we're going to stop right there. God said, let there be light, and there was light. So now we see it go from darkness and light is on the scene. So now there's both darkness and light on the scene. Okay? So they're mixed here. They're still mixed. This is mixture, right? And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. So now we have the unmixing of the light and the darkness. He divided them. And God called the light day, and he called the darkness, in the darkness, he called night. Right? So you have the dividing now, the light and darkness. And then it says, and there was evening and there was morning one day. So at the end of this right here, this is a cycle. That is a cycle. It went from evening to morning one day. So when was the first day ended? In the morning. Do you understand that? There was evening and then there was morning one day. So when we get to verse 6, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water. Now, when we in verse 6, this is the start of day 2, the second day. Day 1 is already over with that morning right here. Now we're on day 2. God created the firmament and the heavens on day 2. So remember, in verse 6, we're on day 2 now. Remember, it's a cycle. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God called the firmament And God made the firmament and divided it from the waters which were underneath the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. Right. So this is all on the second day in the morning. How we know it's the morning? Because look what it says. And there was evening. So evening comes again. And there was morning. Then morning comes again. A second day. So we see this cycle goes from morning, evening to morning. God works in the morning. We're going to get another example. So now, verse 9, this is on the third day, right? Because evening and morning went by. The second day, the morning is the conclusion of the day and the beginning of the next day. And God said, let there let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place. Now, this is when? The second day. The third day. So now he's creating in the daytime of the third day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together one and unto one place, and let dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw it was good. And God said, let the earth put forth grass, herb yielding seed, and fruit tree bearing fruit after its kind, wherein is the seed thereof upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, herb yielding seed after its kind, and tree bearing fruit, wherein is the seed thereof after its kind. And God saw that it was good. Now look, we're going to have another cycle. And there was evening. So it was morning time, and then evening comes, and then morning again the third day. That's the conclusion of the third day. From that morning, evening to morning. Now, verse 14. It's morning again. He creates again. And then it says, then there was evening. Evening comes again. And then what happens? Morning comes again, a fourth day. So this is the cycle of Genesis 1. It goes from morning, God is creating in the morning. Evening comes, he doesn't create at night. And then morning comes again, he creates. He creates. Evening comes, he doesn't create at night. Morning comes, he creates in the morning. And that's the cycle, all the way till the seventh day. That is the cycle. So this is a clear example how the day begins in the morning and not at night. Clear and blatant examples, right? And then we have, I want to get this right here. We know the two greater lights. One was to rule the day and one was to rule the night. Clear. The sun is to rule the day and the moon is to rule the night. God worked in the daytime portion. It doesn't say anywhere in Genesis 1 that he worked at night. It went from morning, evening, morning. Morning, evening, morning. Morning, evening, morning. That's clear in Genesis 1. You can't get around that. Now, we're going to go to the book of Exodus. We're going to we know we're going to the famous Sabbath chapter. The verse 19. And Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning. Why it can't be left into the morning? Because the morning is the renewal. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of it left it until the morning, and it bred worms and rotted. And Moses was wroth with them. Right? And Moses was wroth with them. And they gathered it morning by morning, every man according to his eating. As the sun waxed hot, it melted. So they gathered morning by morning. Pay attention. Morning by morning. And it came to pass on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread, and 2 omers for each one. So when did they gather? Morning by morning. Day 6, when are they gathering twice? In the morning. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses, and he said unto them, this is that which the Lord has spoken. Tomorrow is the solemn rest. So he says, tomorrow is the solemn rest, a holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which you will bake, and seeth that which you will seeth, and all that remaineth over lay up for you to keep until the morning. So on the 6th day, they had to gather double, and they had to do all their cooking and preparing on the 6th day. And the stuff that they had, they laid over to the morning. Why to the morning? Because the morning is the next day. Let's continue reading. And they laid it up till the morning as Moses bade, and it did not rot, neither was there any worm therein. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. So we have right here, they're gathering morning by morning for 6 days. The 6th day, they gather double in the morning. The 6th day, they prepare everything they need to prepare. They leave some over till the morning. And then when they left some over to the morning, Moses said, that morning, eat that today, for today is the Sabbath. The next morning was the Sabbath. Let's read it again. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. Why wouldn't they find it in the field? Because they had to gather morning by morning. And on the Sabbath day, it would be nothing there to gather. The morning is the Sabbath. 6 days ye shall gather. When did they gather? Morning by morning. But on the 7th day is the Sabbath. There shall be none. So it's going to be none in the morning the next day. And it came to pass on the 7th day that there went out some of the people to gather. When did they go out? On the 7th day. When was they gathering? The morning. This chapter is important. And it came to pass on the 7th day that there went out some of the people to gather, and they found none. And the people said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See that the Lord have given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Obeyed every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. So they rested on the 7th day. What were they resting from? The gathering of the manna. And when was the manna to be gathered on the other days? In the morning. This is a clear example of when the Sabbath starts. Right? We're going to do, all we got to do is read. It's no crazy. You got to do all these precept. All we do is go to these chapters and read. Now, this is another one. We're going to start at Wayikra, chapter 7, verse 15. It says, and the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offering for thanksgiving shall be eaten on the day of his offering. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. Right? If you didn't catch what's going on here, if you offer a sacrifice, you have to eat it that same day. The peace offering for Thanksgiving, it shall be eaten the same day of the offering. You can't leave any of it until the morning. Why can't you leave any of it into the morning? Because the morning is the next day. They didn't say you can't leave any of it until the evening. No, you can't leave any of it until the morning because the morning brings in the next day. It has to be so you sacrifice it in the morning, you can eat it in the evening, and you can eat it at night. But it can't have any of it until the morning because the morning is the next day. Right? This is clear examples of when the day starts. Right now, we're gonna go to Leviticus 23. Right, this is what people try to bring up to say, "Oh, no, Leviticus 23, what is it? Verse 27." And it's no. 30, we said at 32. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of solemn rest. You shall afflict your soul in the ninth day of the month at evening. From even unto evening shall you keep your Sabbath. Now, this isn't talking about the weekly Sabbath. This is talking about Yom Kippur. Now, I have a question. If every day started at evening, why would God have to specifically tell you to keep Yom Kippur from evening to evening? It will be redundant. If every day starts at evening, there will be no reason to tell you, yo, this to keep this from evening to evening. If everything started at evening, it will be a no brainer. Of course, we go. How else will we keep it? But every day didn't start at evening. That's why, Yom Kippur is singled out and specifically said, you keep this one at evening. And people try to take this verse to make it talk about the weekly Sabbath. It's not talking about the weekly Sabbath. I challenge anybody, give me the book, chapter, and verse of the law where it says you keep the weekly Sabbath at evening. You're not going to find it at all. So we just went through some really, and I want to keep this video nice and short, some really, really good texts, right? We went through Genesis 1 to show you when the day began. Exodus 16 to show you that the Sabbath began in the morning, not in the evening. Leviticus to show 7 and 15, I think that was, right? Let me go back here. Leviticus 7 and 15. The flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offering for thanksgiving shall be eaten on the day of his offering. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. The morning is the start of the new day. Genesis 1, Exodus 16, Leviticus 7. It's clear examples of the day starting in the morning. The Sabbath starts in the morning. Clear examples, all right? So I try to keep it nice and short with scriptures under 20 minutes. Hope that was short. But it's that simple, all right? Shalom, 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 shalom. All praise to the Most High. Again, make sure you guys are here every night, 8:30 for Torah After Dark. Shalom.
Flawless victory.
Welcome to Torah After Dark, where scriptures meet the real world, raw and unfiltered. This isn't your typical Bible study. We're diving deep into the Torah, the prophets, and today's world, from prophecy and exile to politics, culture, and controversy. I'm Gadol HaGadol, a Black American student of the Torah, bringing straight truth with no filters, no fluff, and no fear. We stream regularly because Torah doesn't clock out. Whether it's the law of exile, prophecy breakdowns, or what's really going on in the news, we're bringing it back to the Torah. Got any questions, topics, or want to debate live? Hit the inbox or email gadolhagadol@gmail.com. Also, subscribe to the channel, like the live, and join the membership for exclusive breakdowns, biblical challenges to Christian claims, and teachings you won't hear anywhere else. This is Torah After Dark, for the people still seeking truth, even when the world turns their lights off. Let's get into it.